Hey guys, I am back with another album share. So today I'm going to go through a few different ones and they are all themed by holiday. And so basically what I do is I have albums for each holiday, and then the nice thing about that is that I can then display them for that holiday as my home decor. And so making sure we're straight on here. Looks like we're good. And so I like to, as I mentioned before, include my albums in my decor so that we actually get to look at them and enjoy them and appreciate them. And so today I'm going to show you my spring, which that's not really a holiday. So this would be spring and Easter. So anything that's Easter themed or very, very spring based is going to be in this album. And then I'm going to show you my Valentine's Day album, 4th of July album, then my fall albums, which include both just general fall pictures and Halloween, and then my Christmas. So some of it is so it's a mix of seasonal and a specific holiday. So for instance, winter themed photos, I also put in my Christmas albums, I believe. Gotta double check that. I think I have been doing that. But I do know my fall and Halloween ones are together. And so that's kind of just how I've approached it, and I really like that. So this is my spring. I haven't looked at these in a long time, you guys, so this will be fun. This is my spring album, and I'm not for sure if they're in date order. Again, these are going to be a lot smaller projects, and so anytime I can kind of go through and organize them by date. So I'm not for sure if they are. They may already be, but I'm not positive. So, got Easter egg hunt here. Make sure you guys can see everything okay. Okay. Really just fun spread. You know, a lot of times when you have the Easter egg hunts, you take a ton of pictures. So 2-page spreads are always great for those because I can never just pick and choose. I have to put them all in there. And then, or this would be a great chance. And this was, I think, before I was really doing the divided page protectors, but Easter egg hunt is also a great time to use those divided page protectors. And then I showed you earlier, or my last video, you could find some fun Easter themed sequins or table confetti, and then you could sprinkle them into one of the pockets and seal it shut. And that's always a really fun embellishment thing to do in those pocket pages. So you can always do some really fun things with those pockets. Don't let them, sometimes they feel kind of confining, but you can really do a lot of fun creative things in a different type of page like that. So, but this one here is a 2-page spread, and so my kiddos are pretty darn little here, and just some fun memories of the girlies getting their candy. So we have an Easter egg hunt in our local town every Easter, and we don't do it anymore, of course, but we have in the past some Easter family get-togethers and dinners and things. So here's a couple layouts from a particular Easter where some family was in town, and that was from that same day. So I think maybe I do have these in order. Just some family photos that we took at my mom's house. Just some family snapshots, and then a preschool picture. So she made this mask in preschool, and I had these for paper issues. What's there were a couple different magazines that you could order supplies from, and they were lower quality, but they were good prices. And you'll see one of my Christmas albums and Christmas lines I had gotten from there. I can't think of what it was called now. Anyway, so I remember I had a pack of 4 or 5 of these from that. And I'm like, oh, this would be a great chance to use something this big on a layout where I only have one photo. And so I scrapbooked that. Was fun. So, and then here is some more Easter egg hunt pictures from a different year. Lots of Dear Lizzie on that. Hopefully the glare is okay. Lots of Dear Lizzie on that, I can tell. And a lot of, I know a couple of her lines that were really good for spring photos. Another 2-page spread of Easter egg hunt and checking out the goods. Easter egg dyeing. These are some older papers, I think, from that same, what was it called? Because I think these papers were from that collection too. I don't remember now. Anyway, but it was a newspaper and then you could order supplies out of it. And I know it's still around. You order like party supplies out of, but for a long time, maybe they still have scrapbooking supplies. But I finally stopped ordering from them because the quality was, you know, not nearly as great. So anyway, this is a fun. I did this for some class a long time ago. But this was a lot of fun. So it was doing embossing with some stencils. And so stencils are something I need to use more often. So I used a single stencil here and then a stencil that had more on it over here. And then printed out pictures a little bit smaller and just stacked them. So this is from the same Easter. This actually is like a double page spread basically. So that was a lot of fun. I feel like I remember doing that when I was with Angie during one of our weekends. I feel like I did that with her, but I don't remember what class we were doing at the time. It was quite a few years ago though. You know, digging through the candy, digging through the candy, assessing all the goods. Another 2-page spread. At our house out in the country. And then we went to some friends, a friend's home they invited us over for Easter. And so this is from that day. Lots of fun. So you can tell these are a little bit more current. That was from that same day. And here I kind of pulled out one photo that I cracked up at, just made me laugh. And I caught it throughout the day. And when I was looking through them, I'm like, oh, that's a great picture of my husband like laughing. And anyway, so that picture just had a lot behind it, so I did that one separately. And then some Sunday, Easter Sunday church pictures. That is already falling apart. Oops. So this is one of my favorite layouts. I really like that layout. I don't remember what line it was for sure, but just the colors all went perfectly with their outfits, and I thought that was really pretty. I know I see lots of Maggie Holmes, but I think there's more than just Maggie Holmes on that. And then another 2-pager from that day, which I should probably mix those, put those, well, I wonder if I did that just because it was a 1-pager. I don't know. Anyway, because these pictures were actually, I think, taken before the night before. I think we went to Sunday Mass the night before Easter, and then these were during the day, but these all are from the same day as like all of these. And so anyway, not a big deal. It's still all from the same Easter. But another 2-pager. So I apparently like to do 2-pagers with Easter, which is fine. Lots of Maggie Holmes on here. I think maybe all Maggie Holmes. And then just a single pager, which I love this. It's very bulky, has lots of texture to it. But this is like where I figured out how much I love just a central picture with lots of layers behind it and lots of textures and dimensions. So I have vellum, I have one of those white bags, some chipboard clips, twine, just lots of really fun texture to that layout. And just little things kind of sticking in places. I just love that look. And then I did use some spray mist in the background. So that's one of my favorites. I love that too. I'll stop saying that because basically you can see like the style now, and a lot of these are my favorites because I like my style now better than my style back then, but they're all very valuable and they're where I was at in that point of scrapbooking. So they're all good. So yeah, here's a late night Easter egg hunt we had after the Easter Mass. That was fun. And 8.5 by 11, a gift. I got each of the girls a locket for Easter one year, and so I documented that. And then grid, super cute layout. Just made a really kind of messy background and then did a grid with different pattern papers and embellished kind of in the middle here. Did title as one of the grid sections. And then what made it fun was doing one that covered 2 parts of the grid, so it made it a little bit different. So very fun. Let's see, I feel like I got these maybe from like a Michael's or Joann's and used them all on one page, which was a lot of fun. So I did kind of 3 sections. 2 had Instax photos, and then 1 had the journaling. And I used, this was an actual Easter line, if I remember, like maybe a Simple Stories Easter line, like one of the smaller, like, you know, the really small themed packs. I feel like that's what that was. And then these were from my stash. So that was a fun layout to do. And this one is kind of a smaller grid coming in from this side, and it's just one picture that I turned black and white and focused on that. And then these were from, I think, Michael's. I think I had these with like a spring kit. And these are really cute. I wish I had more. I maybe do. I haven't looked at my spring supplies in a long time, but I remember loving these Easter eggs. But I don't remember where I got them for sure. Maybe Michael's or Joann's. So those are really fun. I loved those. And another one pager here with the picture, a selfie with me and each of my girls before church, Easter service. And yep, just did my little kind of where I do a main section and a smaller section on the top or on the side. I like that look a lot. And I know this is a variety of supplies because I think these are from Paige Evans. This is, I think, just from like Michael's or something. And then papers are definitely a mix of different paper lines. So that is my spring/Easter album. And next up is 4th of July. Actually, I'll do Valentine's Day next, actually. Oh, so this is such a, love this. This is when I was really exploring my style, and like, I remember making this page and being like, oh, I love this. And but I couldn't like put words to it. I just remember thinking I love layering, and now down the road, it took me a while, but now I'm able to look at this and say, okay, the reason I love it is because I love the texture of the paper tear, and then you have all these fun different textures and dimensions. So you have the bling, and you have the mesh, and you have buttons, and you have chipboard, and just all these really fun, and then this like acetate element here, but you have a good mix of things. And so that's why one of the reasons why I love it. I also love it because I was also figuring out color and how to make that work. And so you can see I have kind of the triangle thing going. So I have red, red, and red. And I have, the buttons are kind of equally spaced throughout, right? And then you have chipboard, and then you have this really dimensional piece here. So you have kind of a triangular of, you know, other dimensional pieces. Anyway, so this is when I was just really playing with how to make color work, how to balance things. I just remember falling in love with this layout and thinking, okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting this figured out, like what I like, what I think looks good on my pages and for my style. So I just remember for some reason that was one of the big layouts that I kind of figured that out. This is one of those layouts that you kind of pre-put together. Like you cut the pieces apart and then you just like layer them and then you just add the photos in. So they were fun. Like I kind of went through a phase where I did a lot of that because it was fun for me. It was fun to like not know like exactly how a page was going to turn out, because you just took like 3 pattern papers, 2 solid papers, and a couple pieces of ribbon. Like they would give you kind of what you needed. And then it would say, okay, cut this paper this way, this way, and this way, cut this paper this way, this way, this way, and then you put it together. So you obviously made sure that you grabbed papers that coordinated, but you didn't always know how they were going to be applied to the pages. And then it would leave room for photos, and you add in photos. So, and it was in the Creating Keepsakes magazine. It was like they had a section every month, and then there were a couple of books. I really loved that style. It was a lot of fun. I kind of went through a phase where it's all I wanted to do. And so there's a lot of layouts like that, but then when you're done, then you can embellish it however you want. Like you can change it up how you want. You can, add as much to it afterwards as you want to. And so here I kept it pretty simple. I remember loving this paper line. It was this, I think it was a beautiful Valentine's themed Cane Company line, if I remember right, with just like pinks and oranges and browns. It was gorgeous, and I just remember loving that line. So I'm glad I got a nice layout using that line, because what I used to do back then was I would collect all my favorite, you know, supplies. I go shopping like crazy, and then I'd be scared to use it because, one, I loved it so much, and two, I felt like I had to use up older supplies first. And when I finally broke myself of that and said, no, use your current supplies first, because that's what you're passionate about, and just use it up. Like, there's never, I mean, very rarely will you have a perfect project for a perfect piece of paper. Like, just use it. And once I got past that, it took me a little while, then I enjoyed scrapbooking so much more. So if you have that favorite piece of paper, guys, just use it. Don't save it for like the perfect picture. Just use it. Don't put yourself in the box of having to scrapbook older photos first. Don't put yourself in the box of having to scrapbook older supplies first. Scrapbook with what you want to scrapbook with. Because what happens is, if you only let yourself play with older supplies first, then by the time you get to your new supplies, now they're old. And you'll always be in that cycle. You'll always be playing with old supplies that you don't love, or that you don't really even like anymore. So don't put yourself in that box. Also, purge. If there's supplies that you just don't see yourself using anymore, that you don't gravitate towards anymore, just purge it, sell it, give it away, whatever. Only keep what you absolutely love. And so anyway, because I had a couple paper lines that I loved when I got them. I think they were my mind's eye, I remember. And I loved them. And I just did that. I waited. And then by the time I actually got to use them, I didn't really love them anymore, because the style changes so quickly. So, okay. Well, sorry, little soapbox moment there. All right, Valentine's page there. The girls, creating their boxes and decorating their boxes. And so I love a good Valentine's line. Like, for some reason, Crepe Paper's Valentine's lines always like pull me in. I love their Valentine's lines. And so you'll see a lot of Crepe Paper collections in here. An 8.5 by 11 picture layout, where I actually used some like ribbon and just did some fun dimensional embellishment there, but it was a top heavy layout, which was kind of fun. Definitely, I think, more Crepe Paper here. So picture of just the girls with their finished boxes with their candy in there. We happened to have an adult couples Bible study on the night that it was around like the week of Valentine's Day. And so my sister-in-law actually made all the couples their own little private cake and then put their names on it. So that was super cute. So I just decorated, or just scrapbooked that, told that little story, and love how that one turned out. When we lived out in the country, we had a constant new batch of kittens making their way through our garage, because during the winter we would always let the mama stay in the garage and then have our babies in there for a while. And so one time the little kittens found my heart basket that I used to put stuff in, and I got some cute pictures of them playing in that, and so I scrapbooked that and put it in this album. Another layout about just a picture of my daughter writing out her Valentines. It's always fun when your kids get old enough to be able to write out their own Valentines and do it's a big project, and so it's nice when they get to that point. I really love this layout. Like, I love a good black and white background, and then, you know, adding color on top of it. That's just something that I really enjoy. And so I feel like I did this for, was it Get It Scrapped maybe? Because I remember the challenge being using a big theme or embellishment type of thing. And I feel like maybe I did do that for that. So I just cut some papers into a big heart and then just had some fun decorating that one. This one's fun. This one I made a little bit feel more vintage just because I have some really cute, a lot of my Valentine's decorations have that vintage look to them. I have a collection of old postcards and old Valentine's cards I get from antique stores, and so I use them to display for the different holidays. I have Thanksgiving ones, Christmas ones, Valentine's Day ones, and so I kind of made the layout a little bit more vintage, which I had a lot of those supplies, so that was a good way to use those more vintage feeling supplies. And then I don't remember what line this was for sure, but just another layout about my girls working on their Valentines. And here's a picture as they're getting a little bit more creative with their boxes. I wanted to document that. And then an 8.5 by 11 page, I just printed an Instax photo of a little posed picture in front of the fireplace on Valentine's Day, and just scrapbooked that little picture with just a little bit of layering behind it, and love how that's just a very sweet page. So that is my Valentine's album. So a mix of documenting decorations, the girls doing their boxes, their Valentines, some post pictures. Okay, next one is 4th of July. And I use a navy blue for this one. And so just some fun pictures from that day. We have a huge 4th of July celebration in our town. Like the whole day there's stuff going on. And so when all my family was still alive, they would often come here and they'd hang out at our house for the day. And now our 4th of July is completely changed. Obviously, my entire family is no longer with us. My husband's parents are no longer with us. And now that I have the shop, ever since we opened the Corner Nook 4 years ago, 4th of July is like one of our biggest days. So we're open like, I don't know, 14 or 15 hours. And so our 4th of July looks different now. It's just, and my girls are older, so they do some of the older kid things. And then it's more about the evening stuff, like the parade and the light or the fireworks. And so our tradition definitely has changed over time. But when my kids were younger, it was like family was at our house all day long. It was, we barbecued, and it was just a really fun day. And so I'm really glad that I have those memories documented because they have changed so much over time. I need to sit down and do a layout about that, about how 4th of July, kind of what my 4th of July looks like now. And so just a 2-page spread just of the family and the kids prepped for the parade, and some friend pictures from the morning of. They have kids games at the park, they have games at the pool, they have a golf tournament, they have a softball tournament, a sand volleyball tournament, they have a car show, all kinds of fun things going on. So it was always a very picture heavy day, more so then than it is now. But so there's a fun, I enlarged this photo because I loved it so much, and scrapbooked that. I don't do that as much as I should. I used to enlarge pictures quite a bit. Another 2-page spread. And then I also do some kind of more patriotic themed pages. And so that's what these are. So this was, we went to, for Christmas, I actually got my mom this gift, where I took her to a Sean Hannity show in Oklahoma, and we went and visited family while we were there, and we all went together and got to see Michael W. Smith, Ollie North, Leonard Skinnard. It was a really fun evening. So I have a lot more pictures from that day, so I have a lot more to do with that event. I got 1 page done from it so far. And then this I actually scrapbooked when we got Bin Laden. And so I just took a picture of the TV screen that said he's dead, and that just was a really big day in our country, and having lived through 9/11 and having it very much impacting our lives, and so I scrapbooked about that. So and here is, I had taken a picture at the beginning of our parade. We always have veterans that walk down with a flag first, so everyone salutes them, or puts, respects them by putting their hand on their heart as they're walking by. And so I got a picture of my daughter, one of her friends, doing that. It was just a sweet picture, so I scrapbooked that. And then just my daughter and her cousin hanging out during one 4th of July afternoon at the pool, and just throughout the day I'd taken a couple pictures, and so I paired them together. And I just love they have the 4th of July clothing on, and so it just makes it so nice to make a nice looking page because it all matches when you use your 4th of July themed papers and stuff. Another 2-pager from that same day of just all the different activities. Oh, they have bingo. I didn't even mention bingo. Barbecue, parade. Their friend Jalen is like a rodeo princess, so we took a picture with her. And just turtle races. Guys, there's so much fun stuff going on. They actually rode, I think they must have rode on a thing for something. I'm not for sure. I don't remember. Oh, maybe a church float. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, so very fun. So it'll be fun to, my goal with these little albums is to show, it's a good way of showing how things change over time, right? So hopefully by the time this album is done, you can say, okay, gosh, this is what our 4th of July used to look like. And as we got older and the kids got older and it changed, and just seeing that progression of life and the changes that happen is kind of fun in these smaller scrapbook settings. Like they're just kind of little snippets of our life, like these holidays. Alrighty, so next is fall and Halloween. And okay, so I initially had so I still keep them separate. So I keep fall pictures separate from Halloween pictures, or at least I used to. But they all are in purple. And so these are some of the first kind of themed albums I started back when I started scrapbooking again. And that's fall too. Okay. So initially when I started scrapbooking Halloween, I used to kind of force like this regimented process on myself. So I had done this title page, which I don't really do title pages anymore. And then what I was going to do was this system for every year. So I'm like, every Halloween, I'm going to do like a printed list. I'm going to number the pictures, and I'm just going to put them all together and then do a couple cute strips of pattern paper. And that's how I'm going to do every single Halloween. That lasted a few years. Then I'm like, no, I want to do individual pages about some of these stories. And so it just shows again how your process changes over time. But these were my very first Halloween experience with our oldest daughter. You can tell some pieces are falling here. I think this is from the top here. There we go. And so that's what I did, is I took a pen, a photo safe pen, and I numbered them, and then just numbered like what the photo was. And so that was Keaton's very first Halloween. She was a strawberry. I just love it. And I love this. It's fun. Like you can see I use paint to kind of, to like swipe along the edges to keep the photos separate from each other. I happen to have an uncle and cousin from California visiting. So lots of different people that a lot of people don't see very often anymore. So these are fun pictures. I just, after a while, I'm like, well, I don't want to do this every year. Like I want to use my Halloween supplies because I started to collect them. So the thing I did do with that though is it allowed me, because I think my struggle was from the very beginning is that a lot of Halloween lines are black, purple, green, orange. And as you can see, our Halloween costumes aren't those colors, right? We have a pretty fairy princess, and it didn't mesh with me. I didn't want to scrapbook like this photo with like black and orange papers. So that's always been a struggle for me. And so this allowed me to have a kind of a continued theme of the pictures and then some pattern papers that match the pictures, but they aren't necessarily Halloween themed. And so that was kind of, I think, where I was going with that. But super cute. Oh my gosh, that was such a fun Halloween. And then my daughter made the front page of the paper. We were at a Halloween party. Where I used to work had a huge Halloween event. And then the next year she was Snow White. So I did the same thing, but I had way more pictures. So I had to do it along 3 pages. Just 'cause I used to take so many pictures. I had some friends that actually did Halloween cards. Just like they would send out Christmas cards. So I went ahead and just put those into a pocket here. And then again, I'm following the same system where I have kind of like this title page for this Halloween because I have so many pictures, and then all of them just put together like that. And then this is about the time that I decided, you know what, I want to tell more of these individual stories. My kids are getting more personality, and there's more stories to tell besides them just being cute. And so you can see now I kind of changed into my regular just layout. And so here I had a picture of my daughter with a spider hat she made in preschool. And then I did an 8.5 by 11. So here's where I kind of just go to regular layouts as they get older, and there's more stories to tell. And also there were some years where outfits did match the Halloween scheme, you know, color scheme of the oranges and the purples. And so here they were both witches, and so I was able to start using some of my actual Halloween supplies. And so, yep. So now we're kind of into just some individual layouts and stories. There's a 2-pager of carving pumpkins. So super cute. And Halloween 2 is kind of a fun, we had a tradition, and it's kind of, we're too old for that now, but for most years we had a tradition of a certain group of friends that we walked around with. And there was one year that was really cold. There was a couple years it was really cold, but for most years we have just a group of people that, same kind of group of friends, and the adults would walk together and the kids would trick or treat. And so I probably need to sit down and like document that somewhere if I haven't already. I have to look. So sometimes these are doing albums, you know, organizing them chronologically and kind of looking through them every once in a while is also good, because you can say, okay, you know, there's all these individual stories, but what's the overall theme that I'm missing? What's the tradition that I'm missing? What's the background story that I may be missing? And then you can do a layout about that to kind of bring it all together. Because like I said, I don't know if I've done a page about how, well, this is a group of our friends that we almost always, you know, trick or treat together. And anyway, so that's something that I need to, it's always good to kind of check your albums every so often and fill in any holes that you maybe feel like are missing from the story. So getting ready for Halloween, just some cute, fun. Oh yeah, so here I had the story of that, and so I did do a layout, just a variety of pictures of the kids. So I did scrapbook about that. I love this one, so fun. That was such a fun year. I love those pictures of Keaton and her cousin India. That was a fun layout to do. And then so now I'm very happy because now finally they're starting to make Halloween lines that have lighter colors in them. Yes, there's always been lines that have like brighter colors, but they're usually still in that purple, orange, green. But now you're having these collections that are starting to put some pinks in there. They're still very Halloween feeling, but they're not as dark. And so that is very nice because I appreciate those lines for sure, just because of the pictures I have don't always mesh. And so this is one of them, and the picture just was this beautiful picture. And so I like having this really lighter looking layout for that. And then we're getting to the older years, and we're kind of getting out of trick-or-treating stage altogether. We're definitely at the end of that, but my daughter actually won this school costume contest for being 11 from Stranger Things. She totally killed it, you guys. And so I scrapbooked that, and I think that's it. So I have some catching up to do for sure for our last couple Halloweens. She was Bob Ross last year, and my girls love Halloween, you guys. I don't know what it is, but they love, like, they seriously, like a month after Halloween gets over, they're already contemplating their next year's outfit, which I always say it's going to change by the time you get to next year. But so I imagine they are getting very anxious for Halloween this year. Just to dress up, they do a couple costume things here in town. So anyway, hopefully my video is still going. Looks like it. Yep, okay, sorry, gotta check. So now we're just into fall, and so here, again, as you can see, I did a title page, or a cover page, which, yeah, title page. Which you can, this is old, you guys. This is some old basic gray, for sure, and some old, oh, these are those, oh, what were they, what brand were those? They were like these cards, and you could cut out the, anyway, old supplies, for sure. And some really fun pages. So here I was pregnant with my first. We did some pumpkin patch fun with my parents. So yeah, these are old layouts. These are some of the first ones I did when I got back into scrapbooking. So some Thanksgiving pictures. So fall is going to be any of your pumpkin decorating, your Thanksgiving pictures, just your general fall pictures. Here's pictures of Keaton painting a pumpkin. Thanksgiving for sure. Oh, love that picture. My daughter was, his mom babysat her for a couple years, and they just loved each other, and that picture was so sweet. So yeah, a lot of Thanksgiving pictures and memories, fall festivals, those types of things. Thanksgiving, pictures of us prepping, you know, Thanksgiving dinner, the post-Thanksgiving nap, which is this one. This is one of my favorite layouts too. I love this layout. The picture of both my daughter and my husband falling asleep after Thanksgiving dinner after everyone had left. Love that. I love this one too, but it's falling apart. I need to put it back together, but I loved that layout. Yeah, those letter stickers never stay. I just need to call it good and put something else there. But a lot of times Dan's family will come in from Colorado, and we'll do Thanksgiving as if with all of them. A layout about the girls helping me cook. Again, mostly Thanksgiving, I'd say. Pictures of like fall artwork on the fridge. Mallory eating some carrots with her ranch. The veggie tray that we always have sitting out while we're cooking the meal. Love this. Just a picture of the girls. I caught them watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I just love that picture and just love that layout. Another favorite. This is when I was playing with filters back when we had to it was like hard work to put a filter to a photo. Like you had to download it and then figure out how to apply it to the picture. Like, with cell phones these days, it's so much easier to put a filter on your photo, but back in the day, it was not so easy. So I had played with a bunch and made some really fun photos and scrapbooked those. Cooking with my mom and grandma, so loved that. Some fall festival pictures. Love that picture. My daughter holding my husband's hand. And here I did a little different page, smaller size page protector, and so this is all from the same Thanksgiving. So you can see my styles changed a little bit. A lot of fall supplies and things, yeah, fall theme supplies. So I kind of went through a stage where I just worked on those. Pictures of some food. So those are fun. My mom and when Mallory was little itty bitty. So I have one more partial album continuing those. So more fall. You can see everything okay. And they're falling apart too. Oops. Oh, maybe. There we go. Love this layout. So yeah, you can see here I'm getting into more of the divided page protectors to accompany the layouts. This is from some kind of sketch or class or something. I love how this turned out. Like, I just downsized some of the photos and then did a main photo over here. I love this layout, how that turned out. It was really fun. And some fall sunset pictures. We had one year when we were out in the country that the the sunsets that fall were so flipping amazing. And we never had another fall after that had these sunsets that were just vibrant. Like we had for that Thanksgiving we hosted, and then we had Dan's sister and her family stay with us for a couple days, and we just took so many pictures because it was just so vibrant and beautiful. Never matched it again after that. And so these are actually all from that that fall, because it was just the most beautiful fall. Just our view over the river and even the cornfields were gorgeous. Like, it was such a beautiful fall, and so I'm so glad I documented that. So those are my fall pictures. And then Christmas. I'm not quite sure if these are in order or not. I know this is the oldest one. So this is the album that I got from that same company I talked about earlier. And so a lot of these papers in here actually are a line that match this album. So I probably at some point, because this is falling apart, if I can't get this back together, I need to probably just ditch this album and put it into a 3-ring binder. This is an old postbound. It's falling apart. But these are some of my first Christmas layouts that I did with this line. And I remember doing these, I had a friend here in town that held a crop, and I remember doing a lot of these there at her when she hosted a crop. And so I love this picture. Two of my cousins. So here you can see I'm getting into a different product now. The typical picture of the baby crying on the lap of Santa, scared to death. Oh no, there's some more here. I think that's because I maybe put them in chronological order, so you kind of have like this themed album and then this like really random out of place because of the timeline. That's all good. I'm not gonna stress about it. So there's lots of family pictures. Yeah, this is falling apart. So funny how, yeah, just all the same supplies. Lots of Christmas documented in here. Oh, I love that picture. She has such a cute smile on Santa's lap. She wasn't scared of him anymore. Decorating the tree. Making Christmas cookies. This is fun. I kind of treated like the sections as though they were pockets and just had them like staggered in there. I really love that layout. I love Rana Fair paper. You guys remember Rana Fair? Oh my gosh, she made the cutest paper lines. But she had a really cute Christmas one. Some family time. Some Mac and family time. This is back when we had lots to do on Christmas. We had multiple families to hang out with and our own things to do. And again, that's something that has changed drastically over time as our families have passed away and traditions have changed. So just one of those parts of life that holidays are where you see a lot of that change, because that's usually when you spend the most time with those family members. And so that album is in rough shape there. I'm gonna have to do some work on that one. Let me see. I don't know if these are in alphabetical order or not. So we're just gonna go with it, and I don't know if they are. So continuing Christmas, this is one of my favorite layouts as well. I love how that turned out. I just remember loving that paper. I think it was, I don't remember what paper line that was. But here now I'm getting into more of my current style. Love this layout. I love a good doily, especially gold or silver for Christmas. Bling, sequins, glitter. Like, I bring it all out for Christmas pictures. So all of our Christmas concerts are a great opportunity to use a divided page protector. So because I take so many photos and I don't need to see 15 photos of my daughter playing the flute, but you know, I still want to include them all. So here I just kind of did 2 pictures of close-ups, doing the recorder, Joy, Joy, and then doing an action to a song, and then just some accompanying photos over here. I just try to make sure I usually leave at least one empty where I can do a title card or a journaling card, and then just try to make sure that that particular card and the embellishments on it match the page, the layout that it goes with. See, lots of pictures. This was fun. I love this layout too. That was a fun one. We all wore mustaches and it's falling apart. Guys, I am kind of tired of my layouts falling apart. Okay. Just some really fun, just some pose pictures, Christmas morning pictures, Christmas letter pictures, and then of course Santa's plate. Our dog. Oh my gosh, you guys. Got our sweet dog. She's so fluffy there, but I just happened to catch this perfect picture of her picking up a doggy candy cane doggy treat, and just the look she gave me with the pillow right there, like she's hugging the pillow and then got the candy cane in her mouth. It was like the perfect photo. So I loved that, and I loved decorating that layout, but then it was also fun because I have some doggy wood veneers, and so I always try to make sure that I use those theme supplies too when I actually am scrapbooking that particular theme, even if was a Christmas-based layout. Just some fun. This is like that paper that is pre-printed, and so I just kind of use that and then, you know, continue it all up. Okay, so this is like a typical husband, maybe not typical. So I had a laugh. I was out of town, and my husband took the girls to go shopping, like Christmas shopping, and he's like, oh, we went and saw Santa. I'm like, awesome. And he's like, I got like a CD of pictures and all this. I'm like, that's so great. Like, I'm like, thank you so much for like thinking about getting pictures of that for me because I wasn't there. And I get the pictures. I'm like, Keaton is wearing a summer dress that is blue and pink. Oh my gosh, I about died. So Mallory had like this wintry, like, you know, winter coat on, and then Keaton is no coat and in a summer dress, and I just cracked up. I'm like, what do I do with those pictures? Obviously it's still a memory, but I laughed so hard. I was like, was it not cold that day? He's like, oh, she just took her coat off. I'm like, okay. You gotta love it. It just makes me laugh. Like, and it makes you also realize how much you think about what the picture is gonna look like, you know, when you're doing things, and like how he doesn't think about that at all. And that's good or bad. It just made me laugh. I'm like, all right, we have lots of colors going on in this particular photo, and we have a summer theme going on along with the Christmas theme going on. And it was funny. Anyway, little story behind that layout. This was fun. This is, I think, a lot of Teresa Collins. This is old picture of me and Dan. This was 2 years into our marriage. We had no kids yet, and so I wanted to scrapbook that just because it seemed like forever ago. House decoration pictures. This for sure I think was a class that Angie and I did, or a class or a sketch or something that Angie and I did. I remember doing this with her. So was it last year or the year before? I think 2 years ago. I decided that for our weekend get-togethers, I was going to have it, I had a theme kind of to the whole year, was that each time we got together, I was going to take one big theme of supplies, one big theme of pictures, and just work on those for the weekend. And at the same time, it was going to give me a chance to sort through everything I had in that particular theme, organize it, use some of it up. So there was one particular time I took all of my Christmas stuff. You guys, it was like my entire trunk was full. It was all Christmas. But what I did was I sat down for those 3.5 days. I scrapbooked tons of Christmas photos, used up a ton of Christmas product. I actually made a Christmas mini album in the process. And then I was able to kind of organize and like look at, okay, what do I have left? What do I not want anymore? And I went through and like did it there in the hotel room. And so I did that a couple times. Like one trip was like fall themed, and I did it during the season in which it was happening. So that was like when we got together, probably after Christmas time, or maybe right before Christmas. We had to get together, and so I took all my Christmas stuff. In the fall, I took all my fall stuff and did that. And so it allowed me to really hammer out some good, Halloween and fall layouts, and then some Christmas layouts, because that's the only product I had with me. Generally, I'd probably maybe take 2 or 3 other kits in case I just got bored and needed to work on something else. But this particular time, I remember that's what I was doing. I had all my Christmas stuff with me because I have a crazy amount of it. I love this layout because it was just a way to focus on our decorations in our home. But I just love this, like these ornaments hanging down, like that stuff I don't think of on my own. And so whatever sketch that was, or class that we did there, that was brilliant, and I loved how that turned out. Some more music. So here I just did one picture of her and her dress, and then one with her little cute little like churchy coat. I called it her churchy coat. And then just other pictures from that night of just her. It was her concert. And so there's pictures from the actual concert itself. And then both girls here at a different year, I think. That is a busy page, but I think it's cute. Kind of a grid style, which was fun. And the girls with some of their friends after the concert. This is fun. I think this is probably from a sketch, but I do love doing this style. Sometimes I usually do them a little bit bigger, but I cut this photo down and did a skinnier one where I just did like the layered pattern paper. A great way to use scraps. Layouts like this are great ways to use scraps. Told that story about that particular gift. So another layout plus divided page protector. Christmas photos, great time to use page protectors, because if you're like me, there's a ton of photos at the end of it. All the gifts, like taking pictures of each gift that they got. And while it seems silly to have all those documented, when I look at pictures of me when I grew up, those are some of my favorite pictures, because it doesn't remind me of just that Christmas, but it reminds me of how often I played with that toy, or how much I love that particular toy, or whatever. And so I like to include all the photos. So a couple of general pictures here of the girls in front of the tree, and then some specific photos of them with their gifts. Same thing here, probably different Christmas morning in front of the tree. I love this layout, how that turned out, and then divided page protector. And here I used an actual acetate sheet in there, and then I put in the sequins and the stars and sealed it with the fuse, and then it just is so pretty how it just moves around in there. Love how that looks, and so that's why I love the sequins and the table confetti and stuff like that. It's a great way to use it. Some fun pictures of my youngest helping me with the tree, and her cute little pajamas she had and her Santa hat on. Just some fun photos there that I love. I love this layout, how that turned out. That was fun. Another grid style, the girls helping me bake treats for probably Christmas with Dan's family, I'm thinking. I love a good grid, and I just think it's so fun because it's like you have this big picture to look at, and then all these individual little pictures to look at, and these little individual mini pages almost. And so I love figuring out where the photos go first. I usually do it like a triangle kind of form, and then figuring out where journaling needs to go, and then I love just the decorating and the layering of all the different sections. It's just just something I really appreciate when I look back at it. Here's one of my favorite photos. Just a picture I caught of my daughter looking at me, ready to go outside and play. And the lighting that came in on her was just beautiful. And so I love this layout too, because it's a very simple layout, but it just really focuses on her. You got the pinks, kind of brings out the pink in her coat. And yeah, I just love that one. And then a picture of my daughter looking out at the snow. So very simple, simple story there, but cute, fun, kind of snowflakey, more wintry page versus like a Christmas theme page. You guys bored yet? I think I have 2 more Christmassy albums here. But this way I thought you could see how I organized my holidays and like seasons. So here's some kind of wintry pages. It's 8.5 by 11. Yeah, I think all these I did that one weekend. I remember working on these. So just, these are more winter themed, I think. This is a winter themed collection, but I don't remember who it was. I remember loving it, but anyway. So some snow day pictures. I think maybe it was called Snow Day. I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm using it a lot here. Maybe it was a Simple Stories small collection. I can't remember. But I remember loving it. Maybe it was called Winter Wonderland. Was it Simple Stories? I think it must have been because you have your 6 by 12 cut apart here. Or not. I don't remember, guys. Maybe it was crepe paper. But it was so fun having kind of different color scheme to work with for winter photos. And then I got in a bunch of supplies from, oh, I'm going to lose it. I can't think of the name of the company now, but they just do like the 6 by 6 or the 8 by 8 papers, and they have lots of different really cute collections. And so I did I used up a whole bunch of that, with a lot of our wintry photos and snow photos, and so some fun ones here. Gosh, I cannot think of it. Sorry, guys. But it's so nice to have those collections that have the pinks and the purples, because with 2 girls, you know, here's another example of, so the main layout and then the accompanying photos. And then in this here, I put these cute snowflakes in there, and they just like move around in there. So I fused it shut at the top so that they don't fall out. And I have like a bazillion different types of page protectors. So here you can see it's not your typical 4 by 6. You have 2 4 by 6 and a bunch of the 3 by 4s. So it's fun incorporating different types of page protectors in there as well. Now see, the key thing is, this will still work, but here, if I want to decorate this, I'm going to have to just put it on top, which is totally fine. But I put some of the things on the back side too, just not knowing what was going to end up on this side of the layout. If it stays empty, that's fine. If I have to put in some pattern papers, that's fine too. Just more layouts. Lots of just snow time and this cuteness. They were so little. Time goes so fast, you guys. This seems like yesterday. I'm very nostalgic right now. Okay, we're back to some Christmas photos. Because, so when we moved back to town, we moved into a house that's like 2 buildings away from the house that we used to live in. And that I actually like pretty much raised our girls in. We like had our, you know, had our girls in this home, brought them home from the hospital in this home. And so anyway, so long story short, it's being remodeled right now, and it's already sold to a new family. Not on our, like, we haven't had ownership of it for like 5 years, but I'm friends with the gal who is remodeling it. And so she's like, well, you know, the appraiser comes in a week if you guys want to see what we've done with it. We were at book club last night. Like, we can run over tonight if you guys want to look, because once the family moves in, you know, we're kind of done. So she took us over there, and you guys, it was so nostalgic for me that they did a beautiful job. Like, did a lot of the updates that we had wanted to do at one point to this house, but it's the house that, you know, we raised our babies in. And, before we went out to the country and then came back 4 years later. And so many memories. And so it was so nostalgic and sad and happy and all these emotions. It's amazing how a place can do that to you. But when it's a place that you like brought your babies home from the hospital, and you had the nursery, and all those memories, and just a lot of my friends have memories there too, because we were a central location for a lot of our get-togethers. And so, anyway, so nostalgia is kind of with me today. And so I'm really thinking a lot about time and that's why I love scrapbooking so much, is I can go back and kind of remember some of these great, great memories of when the kids were really little, and it goes so fast. Anyway, so some Mac and family get together, Christmas get togethers, this was like this nephew just graduated high school. This nephew graduated high school last year. Well, he graduated last year. He graduated the year before. Like time just flies so quickly, and so again, some more Christmassy photos. This layout I love. I did this for a Get It Scrapped project, but this story is one of my favorite stories, and so I'm so thankful I have that told already, so I didn't forget about it. I told it pretty quickly after it happened. It looks like we are empty here, so that's it here. I love the Fall La collection. I think it was with that crepe paper. So yeah, I love me a good Christmas collection too. That's another weakness of mine. Oh, I love it all. I love almost all scrapbooking collections. So now we're back a few years again. Excuse me. Yes, this is like when I was pregnant with my first. We had her like a week after Christmas, and so I was very preggo during this Christmas. And then, yeah, so these aren't in order because this is a few years later, but doing the Christmas cookie thing. And Christmas program, the preschool Christmas program. Some cute pictures. The girls were wearing a lot of purples and pinks, and so this particular, I think, was a basic gray line maybe. Had that purple thing to it, so that was fun. 8.5 by 11. Love that one. I just caught that picture of her, like, it was so her personality, and that was a fun layout to do. Grandma and Grandpa and the grandkids, they've both passed away, unfortunately, so I love having those pictures. Those are my husband's parents. Cousin time, just lots of fun family memories. Present time. This was before kids, like just shortly after we were married, doing gingerbread house with both of my parents. That was I'm so glad we had those pictures. That was such a fun evening and just a cherished time. And guys, I was skinny. Before kids, that happens, right? You just, you look back like, oh, I look so young and pretty and skinny and in shape. I won't say skinny. I wasn't skinny. I was in shape. Yeah, anyway, before the craziness of a pregnancy, some fun. This is kind of when the brown was kind of a big popular color, so mixing brown with teal, brown with pink, brown with red. So it's always fun seeing those different trends show up. Some Christmas or church Christmas concert pictures, decorating the tree, Christmas dress, more cousin pictures. Guys, look at me. I use like stickles, and I just need to get all that stuff back out again and start using that stuff again. Decorating gingerbread house, and of course my daughter had a Bronco shirt on, so I just went with the oranges and blues, but I had some fun wintry blue stuff, so it worked fine. Love this. It's again back to kind of grid style again, but then just the one photo and a story. These are the girls in their pink outfits, their pink pajamas. These are two of my favorite Christmas layouts. Just very simple and photo focused. Again, very grid style. So I think that's just where I tend to gravitate towards. My favorite layouts tend to be that grid style or the single photo with lots of layer style. So about a half hour away, we have a town called Minden. It's called Christmas City because it has this courthouse. It's hard to see in a picture, but it doesn't do it justice. It's like all decorated and lit up, and it's gorgeous. It's like I don't know, at least nationwide known, if not worldwide known. It's a popular destination, and so we used to go there every year. We haven't gone the last couple of years. We're going to have to go back and do that again. But so some fun pictures of us going there. Christmas church program. pictures of them singing Go Tell It on the Mountain. So I actually just made that the title. And some house decor pictures. I always like to, just because especially since we're in our third home since we got married, it's nice to see how we decorated different homes and things like that. I had my mom and some friends do some Christmas shopping at my shop back before we were the Corner Nook, when I was just a craft shop. More Minden photos. Nativity scene that is like a book that each day you put a piece out, so I just documented that. Making Christmas cupcakes for the classroom, decorating. So all kinds of fun Christmas memories, like a good mix. Gingerbread houses. So you look through these, you can kind of see themes. You can see things that we do eat almost each year. Gingerbread houses, baking sugar cookies and decorating them. Time with family, all those different traditions, all the Christmas concerts, the church programs, all that stuff. I love this layout too. Picture of the girls after their Christmas concerts, the three that's like traditionally we take a picture of those three together. So that is there. And then our Bible study group went out for a night out dinner for a little Christmas get together. So I did a layout about that. And I love this paper because it was like an old barn kind of situation. So that worked really nicely. Anyway, so that is it. That is my Christmas and winter themed albums. And by no means are they all scrapbooked. I have a lot to do. A mixture of different years of photos that still needed to be scrapbooked because I don't scrapbook in order. And so, but that kind of gives you an idea of how I organize my finished layouts when I'm doing themed and like seasonal projects and layouts, and how they go into the albums, and then I can display them and put them out during that particular season. So I'm about ready to start thinking about fall decorating. So those purple ones might just stay out, and we're getting kind of the temperatures here are kind of starting to feel like fall, and I'm starting to get excited for that season. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and happy scrapping. Bye-bye.